Hi. Okay, Juan and I are headed out for his first solo trip out. Now, where I ride, I have choices. So I'm actually decided that I'm going to take him around the palm trees today. Oh, his first little test. Now, he's lived in big fields and been a horse, so I know that he has the capacity to navigate everything. So there's kind of a berm from the irrigation, and he's very hypersensitive to shade and colors on the ground and water and things. So again, there I'm trusting him, letting him look at everything. He's trying to take a bite of grass, but all very good to let him start examining. You know, it's very different when they're in a herd and other horses are going places, or when you're on the ground leading. I mean, we all recognize that. And then a big deal, especially if you've had the privilege to start horses under saddle, is when they start to wear you and they have to make decisions. You're with them, but they have to make all their own decisions. So, you know, again, seeing how he starts to problem solve. Now, I chose this loop because I don't have cars passing. I don't have horses and cows living inside that can be unpredictable. Even though he's good about the pasture horses and the cows, I still want to give him a chance to be the best he can and to really give him an opportunity to look at the environment. So you see the ranch off to the right, and then here we go with tractors and things, and I get to see how he is. Now, he is amazing. I mean, we had the bloody chainsaw going the other day, and he was just fine. And, you know, the endless horses running and stuff going on with trucks coming in and out, and he's great about all that. So I'm not really expecting a problem. The only thing I'm looking at is how does he start to adapt to carrying me on the unlevel surface. He hasn't had much trail riding, and for a horse to have weight on their back and manage their bodies, it's very different. I'm sure some of you have gone backpacking. It's a really big deal to put a backpack on and start managing your body. So for the horses, it makes a difference. So just walking now down this soft kind of, you know, very varied surface, the swing in his body wants to change. Now, part of it is because he's looking around, but also part of it is for a horse to push themselves forward with a deeper surface with it irregular. It's an effort. So all of a sudden now, all the work we did about the rhythm, the swing to his rib cage, the reach in his shoulder, the movement through his neck and his back is getting challenged. And so I'm doing the same thing I do around, you know, around the track inside, encouraging him to go to his best, to step out, to go forward, somewhat keep the neck straight in front, because when the neck is extending straight in front of the body, you can plug in the rest of the horse so everything stays at a higher level of fitness and organization. So I'm having to encourage him to make that extra effort. I know when I go walking up in the desert and through the rocks and up and down the hills, it's a very different effort than walking on the sidewalk. So even if a horse is an arena horse, this is amazing, amazing cross training. Now in his case, he may also be a long distance horse, so this begins all of that. Now I'm also checking, how is he leaving his friends? You know, he's the man about town in the ranch thinking that he's got it all under control, so how is he going to be to leave his friends? Okay, now we have a little unexpected obstacle. See what he does here, how he thinks. Now, this is great because it's wet. I'm not going to make him go in the water, but he has to deal with the wet and the irregularities, making choices. Because of our puddle training, I have complete confidence. Oh, now he has to step down. So this is a choice to step down onto a surface. All of this begins to be the confidence. I don't punish him for making decisions. I love that he's trying. And as I talked about in earlier videos, developing the willingness and the mind of the horse, to me, is one of the most sacred, important parts of this early development, that he feels I'm developing his emotional state and his mind, aren't I? That he can come out here, make decisions, enjoy the work, not be stressed, and that I can ride his body and affect his range of motion, his straightness, all those things. So when I trail ride, I'm using all of my dressage. Now, am I using my dressage to close his neck and shorten the rein and put him on the bit in that way? No. I'm using the dressage to organize the inside of his body, to work on rhythm, weight distribution, flexibility, range of motion, all those ingredients that are needed in dressage to create a good effect in the horse. So you can make a 20-meter circle, so you can do shoulder in, so you can do a nice flying change. I'm preloading and working on all those ingredients to help, in this case, Juan develop his mind and his body and his spirit. Okay, I'm taking him on the short loop because, again, he is being amazing. He's totally loving this. As you can see, he's never been out here before. He's not being anxious about going home. He's just taking it in. I've got all these different surfaces. He's taking in these trees. We've got those pillow sacks hanging that are the covers for the dates. We have, all these different little things. Now, what's interesting here versus riding in Colorado, we don't have deer and bears and things like that. There isn't a lot of wildlife here. It's pretty much cows and other horses and birds. But he's taking all of this in, and he's just being awesome. Actually, what's interesting, even though I warmed him up, because again, I wanted to make sure to give him the best chance to come out here. It wasn't to wear him down. It was to warm him up. He's getting tired because I'm telling him and asking him to say it has to be active in his walk. You could see that almost the whole ride now, the bob in his neck hasn't really changed. And he's getting tired of having to go. Now, he runs around like crazy with his pipe or his pylon or whatever ball he picks up and plays with. But this is still different for him to carry a rider, to step across the ground in a way that I want him to reach and lengthen through the shoulder. So there's going to be a lot of work ahead. This is going to be perfect for him. And it's going to enhance, if he goes back to dressage or whatever he's going to do after he leaves me, this is going to increase his fitness a lot, to have a range of motion when he's stepping. And also I'm taking advantage of riding long straight lines to help that kink sort itself out and strengthen. I know that when you ride in the arena all the time, I've been there. I've been boarding at places where I didn't even have a place to ride out. So I know it's possible to develop a good mind, body, and spirit in the horse riding in an arena. But this is, to me, the ultimate cross training, is to be able to ride out. And you can see that the loop that I just did is really safe. Now, the great thing is he's having no urgency to go back. He's not nervous. He's not prancing. He's not speeding up. He's not getting, like, oh boy, I got to get home. So for a first ride out, I'm just tickled. He is just, again, just a rock star. And credit to the breeding program. I'm sure, when you have horses with these kind of minds, it's thoughtful breeding. And the fact that he is exemplary in that. So here we have a little variation in footing. He's got to step through the grass. He doesn't know what's into the grass. He's got to step up a little bank and make decisions. And again, it's different wearing a human. So now as we head back, we'll go through the gate that has some kind of weird ribbons tied all over it. Don't know what that was all about, but yesterday the ribbons were blowing in the wind and creating a whole nother obstacle course. So again, that he waits. Now across the road, we had the cows and the other horses. So I didn't opt for that plan because if the horses start galloping and the cows are running or something weird happens, I know I can manage him, but that isn't the point. I want him to be thinking about himself and how he's going without less variables. I will add in all that other stuff as I get to know Juan, but this was a great, great first start to get to know Juan in an environment, and this is what I prefer with all the young horses. How do they manage with the least a number of variables on their first, I'm going to say, trail ride? He's been ridden at shows, he's been shown. It's still different to go out by himself. So I get a little bit of a kick out of him because he did make a little whinny when I got off, like, "Hi, I'm back, did you miss me?" But yet there's more to come, but he's doing great.